One sunny and bright morning, a little bird flew over his beautiful forest. This little bird had blue and green feathers. He was enjoying his view when suddenly he saw the forest burst into flames. The fire was getting bigger and bigger, spreading from one corner of the forest to the other side. Quickly, the little bird flew. He flew down to warn his friends, but as he swooped down, the flames were coming towards him, getting hotter and hotter. He had to fly away to save himself. But as he flew, he saw some of the animals struggling below him. They were struggling as the flames came closer and closer toward them. And he saw some of them plunge down a cliff to their death. The little bird was very saddened. He had to do something. What could he do? What could he do? He had a desperate plan. So he flew to the river and splash! He came out all wet from head to toe, and then he flew back to the fire. As he flew, pillars of fire suddenly stood before him. He had to turn and swoop upwards, but then he went back down and shook his wings. Droplets of water like jewels sparkled under the sunlight and fell to the ground with a hiss. Then as the bird swooped up, again he was met by fire that he had to dodge. And then he went back to the river. Splash! His dry feathers soaked up the water like a sponge. And then he flew back to the fire. As he flew, it was like going through a maze of fire pillars, twisting and turning, and then sprinkling by shaking his body. Hiss, hiss, and then back to the river. Splash, and hiss, and splash, and hiss, and splash. Back and forth the little bird flew, and soon his body was blackened by the smoke that even choked the little bird. Some of the feathers were singed, and some of the feathers on the head and its feet were charred. Now while this was happening, some eagles up above the little bird was soaring in the sky, and they saw the little bird. They laughed. Except for one. This great shining eagle looked at the little bird. He was moved, and so he swooped down. He glided down to meet the little bird. Little bird, little bird, stop what you're doing. You're gonna get hurt and be burned. Stop, or you may die. Little bird, your drops of water cannot stop a forest fire. Go save yourself. But the little bird didn't stop. It continued flying to the river, splash, and then back, sprinkling the fire. Back back and forth. Splash! The little bird heard the eagle. And once again the eagle warned the little bird. This time the little bird spoke. Stop giving me advice. Don't tell me what to do if you're not going to help me. I must save my friends. And then he continued flying. The eagle was touched by the little bird. And then it began to tear up. The tears formed and dropped. Small drops became bigger drops and more drops until there was rain and torrential rain and such heavy rain. Hiss, 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 as the rain fell to the ground, smothering the fire. And as the rain fell on the little bird, healing the burned parts, soothing the burned areas, feathers began to grow. Feathers of all kinds of colors. There was red. There was yellow, green, purple. Oh, so colorful. And as the animals that were saved by the fire looked up into the sky and saw the little bird, the parrot, that brave parrot that saved them, they cheered. And the little parrot flew, looking over the forest and all his friends. He was joyous.